Hey, my Taurus babies, this is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope y'all are having a good week, and I hope you are having a good month of October. This is going to be Taurus and Aries. Sitting in a tree, Kissing. Something has recently happened with Taurus and Aries. I don't know how else to say it. Before I got on here, cards were flying all over the damn place. Even the Oracle deck couldn't shuffle those worth a damn. I looked up, the name of the song that was playing was called Coastin'. And just the thought came to me that whatever was coasting ain't coasting no more. So, I don't know what's going on with your Aries, Taurus, but it seemed like somebody got their butt set on fire. And somebody's not happy about it. That's about the best thing I can say right now until I get the cards on the table. Housekeeping and Taurus. Let me say thank you and I love you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. I appreciate y'all so much. Till the end of October, I'm doing $20 private readings. You don't have to be a subscriber for that one. Hit me up at tarotatarot@gmail.com. One more shuffle. What else? What else? This is going to be 3 for recent past. One more shuffle. 3 for current energy. And 3 for future. 2 for overall. And I will let the oracle cards fall where they will. Oh, Taurus and Aries, what the heck? Where's my firestones at? Yeah, y'all got something going on. All right. So Taurus, this is Taurus and Aries sitting in a tree. Overall energy from underneath the bottom of the deck. First card is suffering in silence for the top end of your overall energy, and foundation and achievements for the bottom end of your overall energy. For your recent past, and a reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. Recent past, trapped in fear. Ooh, the base chakra. And emotional loss. For your current energy, temptation. Your centerpiece and challenge card, positive movement forward. And sacrifice for your future energy, heartache and loss. Triumphant success, how the hell. And authority. Alright, so let's get the little ones on the deck. So from underneath the bottom of this deck, suffering in silence, pulls the 6 of Cups, and foundation and achievement pulls the Death card. That's your overall Taurus with your Aries. Recent past, trapped in fear, pulls the Magician. The base chakra pulls the Knight of Swords. Emotional loss pulls the 2 of Swords. Temptation, oh your mindfuck energy here, pulls the King of Swords. Positive movement forward. Your challenge and your centerpiece, 8 of Cups. And sacrifice pulls the 5 of Wands. Also known as this thing, lack of focus and confusion, heartache and loss. Future energy pulls the Queen of Swords. Triumphant success pulls the 7 of Wands. And authority, who pulls the 5 of Cups. Lord. Well, okay, let me say this. The relationship itself is going through a transformation. That's the best way I know how to put the bottom end of your overall energy into words. You got the Death card, and then for all practical purposes in this deck, I call it the Happy Family card, because what the hell it looks like. Shit, what else would it be? Even though it's not a 10, it's a 4, it's still about that base achievement, getting together, making that commitment, and it's just going through changes. That's just what the hell it is. It's just going through changes. At the top end of this, Taurus, it feels like you're trying to reach back emotionally to a place that was more stable. That's the only way I know how to put that. And because of it, you're kind of suffering in silence because you're not understanding. It's not just you changing, the Aries is changing too. And when one of them, both of you are changing, of course the relationship is going to change because the dynamics in the relationship are going to change. With your recent past, with the Magician on top of the Trapped in Fear, a lot of you were feeling just like this, and a lot of you may have been trying to manipulate the situation. Or maybe if I just be quiet, or maybe if I just don't do this, or maybe if I say that, or maybe if I'm not here. That kind of energy where you're manipulating the situation on a very, for lack of a better phrase, passive-aggressive manner. If I do this, and then we'll see, and maybe he won't say that, and she won't say that. However, all of that was coming from a place of fear. And I dare say Taurus is still some of that there for you because this is different energy for you. This is, again, I looked at the title of the song, it was coasting. You used to coasting along, and now all of a sudden it's like boop de boop de boop de boop de boop, and things are just not going. They're not even going. What's the phrase? They're not even going stuff is not even going in a bad way. It's going in a different way, and it seems like there's separation. So things that you may have been doing before with your Aries, it seems like now something else is taking its place, and because of it, one or the other of you don't have that time to spend together. Things that you were doing closely, coasting along. Once again, you're not coasting no more. Somebody's hitting the brakes. There are other people around you. And this is not cheating energy or third party energy. This is difference in thinking energy. I threw in, I know people are like, what is she doing? I threw in the chakra cards. When I first got the John Holland deck, the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, I took the chakra cards out because I'm not a chakra reader, but Spirit has been on me for the past, I don't know how many weeks, days, but to put those cards back in the deck. So that's exactly what I did because I wasn't trying to have no grief because I didn't have doggone cards in the deck. So bear with me because some of this, I understand the concept of chakras and what they are, what they're supposed to do. It's just from my point of belief, not quite what I'm into. So, but I know other people are. With the base chakra, you're talking about the I have. That's pretty much all I need to know is the I have. It's the root chakra, and that's your energy center situated at the base of your spine. So this is the I have. And that past energy, I have. But you trying to run around and keep the I have. And I'm going to say this is probably about the time. For some of you, this may have been something that triggered this. It could have been a car accident, somebody dying in somebody's family, a friend. It could have been just some innocent flirting, not a third party or cheat situation, just some innocent shit. And it just triggered a whole avalanche of emotion and thought. Yeah, those two together. And so when this start happening, you trying to, but I have this and I have that, and I got to make sure I got this and I got that. Almost like you're chasing your own shadow. That's the energy that's coming back. This is your recent past. Moving from that point with the Two of Swords and the emotional loss, at some point towards you just kind of puckered out and said, fuck it. Something's wrong. I'm losing it, whatever it is. And y'all got up in your emotions about some shit. And not seeing the reality, you didn't want to see the reality of the relationship. It's not breaking down, it's changing. I have to keep saying that because it's in front of my head. I think a lot of you think, and for Aries cross watchers, if this is what I'm saying is actually you and not the Taurus, it's the same thing. Because things are changing, it may initially, or it may have initially felt like the other person was cheating. But that's not the case. It's just, and with Uranus and Taurus, it could have been any number of things that just triggered this, and it's like, wait, what am I doing here type energy, and who is this person I'm with, and why aren't I doing this and that? And I think this has really got to do about both individuals having other things that they need to accomplish on their own timeline and their own path, and the universe is just shaking it up enough where a lot of people that thought they were in good solid relationships are finding out it's not even about the relationship not being solid. It's just that things are changing. In your current energy with the King of Swords on top of the temptation. The temptation is to say, fuck all this business shit. This will reverse. Fuck all this business shit to fuck. Let's just go back to what it is. But I think most of you intuitively know the change is happening because it needs to happen. And this is not just some crazy shit going on and, you know, me not understanding what's really going on. I think at the root of it, you're tempted to hang on to the just being complacent and just the situation, the status quo as it is. Here again, business as usual, out the flying fucking door. So in this current energy, and these two to me are just the male and female energy of the same damn thing. I think she expresses it better. You'll write your name in the upper right hand corner, and then you'll put your date on the upper left hand corner. That kind of stuffy teacher school mom shit. And I think from this side, I relate this more to boundaries and structure, and I relate this more to just the cold, icy, backhanded end of getting on with the business of the day. Fuck how you feel and some other shit. Let's just get on with the business of the day. However, again, if I read reversals and this kind of energy that's coming back, fuck the business of the day. Can we just moonwalk our asses right back to about 6 months ago when all this shit wasn't happening? Your centerpiece and your challenge is to understand that this is positive movement forward, and you really are moving off of shaky ground onto more stable ground, and moving out of emotional, what do I want to call them, snags, and getting onto more practical ways of handling what's going on. Your challenge here is to realize that this is positive movement forward towards, because I know you're going, the hell it is, but it is. It is. And let me just talk about the 800-pound gorilla sitting in the room. Even if it means breaking up, Taurus, I'll wait while everybody cuts their computers off. Even if it means breaking up, it's still positive movement forward. And let me just say, because the energy is here, so I can't not talk about it. For some of you, there may well be a breakup because things in 6 months' time will have changed so much. Directions will have shifted, ideas, beliefs, passion, chemistry, and some other shit will have changed so much. You may not recognize the relationship that you're in at that point. And the only logical thing to do at that point would be to be like, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. This is not the same relationship. You're not the same person. We ain't kicking it like we used to. And not from a negative, I caught you cheating. Not that kind of angry, malicious energy. Not that. But just the, okay, I'm tired. I can't fight. I can't fight the universe. Let me just throw it out here. And this is what's happening. And I need to just back up and let this go. And it feels like a lot of you, some of you more practical Tauruses, in about 6 months' time, that's about where you're going to be. So April, May, somewhere around tax time. I don't like to put dates on shit because the universe don't give a fuck about a Rolex or a clock, as I say. But that's the energy that's kind of resonating back. I'm looking at what's on the board. Yeah, I'm going to say between April and May. And you may just get to that point where this is no longer from the practical point, the practicality of all of it, Taurus. You may just get to the point where, look, this ain't working. This ain't working. And I'm going to want to not be in something that's not working the way that it's supposed to, because ultimately Taurus, for you, it's going to be about the stability. And it feels like there's no stability here. It's a lot of other shit, but not stability. Again, your challenge is to know that you're moving off of the emotional, rocky shit onto some more firmer and practical ground. And there's positive movement forward. However this is going, you're still moving forward and it's positive. It may look like a hot mess in a shitstorm, but you are moving forward. At the end of your current energy, it's about not losing your focus and looking at what you're sacrificing. Because you're going to get to a point, sooner rather than later, where you're going to start looking at, am I sacrificing too much of myself for this relationship? Because once the energy starts changing and the dynamics between you and the Aries starts changing, going to be a power shift. And it might not just be, I know when people say power, first thing that comes to mind is Benjamins and dollar bills falling out the sky. Not talking about that. Talking about the dynamic and the shift of the energy in the relationship. May get to a point, like I said, sooner rather than later, where you're looking at, am I sacrificing more than I was when I got into this relationship? And this can be stuff like your partner decides they want to go to school, and they're not just going to any kind of school. They want to go to med school, they want to go to law school, they want to go to pharmacy school, things that take you right off of the path that you're on and put you directly into a whole nother realm. May want to move. May decide, mom and them move to California, I want to move to California. And you living in the middle of Indiana somewhere. Those kinds of things. And those are thought processes. Things that weren't ever talked about before, now all of a sudden are being discussed. And it's just life. I mean, when you get down to it, it's just life. People do this all the time. People have free will. They can change your mind. And if it is you, Taurus, that's making these decisions and not the Aries, the same conversation. It's just life, and things change and priorities change again. Priorities and sacrifice. And that's what, at the end of this current energy, if you're not already looking at it, that's what you're going to be looking at. When you get to the future, well, I guess I said that and I forgot the card was sitting there, the heartache and loss. You're going to get there. And for some of you, it's going to be about heartache and loss, because you're going to realize the relationship has just changed. Especially, I don't know why school is resonating, for whoever it is that's deciding to do something with their life besides what they're doing. And whatever it is they're deciding is causing them to pack up a bag, break a lease, and move on. This is painful. And sometimes when you get right down to it, Taurus, sometimes dealing with pain, you'd rather just be cheated on and just be on cheaters and get all that shit out in the open. But when you're dealing with real life things that don't have anything to do with anything other than the fact that people just trying to grow and evolve and be their best selves, it's painful. Because there's no finger. Who are you going to point the finger at? You're going to tell the person you're an asshole because you're trying to be better. No. But this is life. And when you get to this point, it hurts. But the thing to understand behind all of that, and although I hate this bitch, it is what it is. In your future energy, at that point, for those of you, and this is not going to resonate with everybody, but for those of you, when you get to this point and you realize, you may not be in clear focus right now, but for those of you, when it gets in clear focus, if it goes this way for you, where somebody's moving away from you, and not on no bullshit, it's time to start restructuring. Time to break some shit down. And in that kind of situation, that's really the best thing that you can do, is just tear all of everything down. Because if you've been in a relationship for a while, whether a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then all of a sudden you coasting along and somebody hits the brakes, now it's time to go back. Some of you may decide to put a relationship on hold. And even doing that, for a lot of you, can be painful. It can still feel like heartache and loss, because now it's just nothing. You're going to put a relationship on hold. And most of you know, like I know, you can do that, but somebody moving away from you or getting into a different situation and you got a relationship on hold, and meet somebody else, fall in love, all kinds of things can happen. Babies pop up in situations like this. I'm just putting it out there. So the heartache and loss part doesn't even actually have to just be this just straight termination, cut the cord, breakup type shit. It can just be, oh, well, let's just wait and see what happens in a year. That can be just as painful, if not more. Because now you putting shit on hold to wait and see if something else is going to happen. And you really aren't understanding, I feel you, because there's no fuck up there. This is about logical, practical decisions. I want to go back to school. I want a better job. I want to live closer to my family. And a lot of times people make decisions and they make with the decision that's best for them, but maybe not the decision that's best for us. And some of you may have to deal with that heartache and loss. Get down to it. It's time to start restructuring. And this is air energy. This is that mental shit. Time to unfuck the mind and get right back to the basics. King sitting up there, it's the same thing. Getting back to the basics. Going through your current energy with triumphant success and the Seven of Wands. This is just telling me that Aries, because this is their energy, at some point may get defensive. However, triumphant success. And for some of you, ultimately, this is where you might end up, but you're going to have to go through some shit first. You'll have to go through some shit. Aries in particular, and the way this reading is coming back at me towards, this is really the Aries that's making a lot of changes and going through a lot of changes for whatever reason. And you would think it would be Taurus, but this is really the Aries from this reading that's going through all these changes. So, they may get defensive. At the bottom of all of that, they're trying to get here, and so are you. And for some of you, you may actually have to go through this and come right back here to this and decide, okay, well, we're going to try to do this together. I'm just saying. On top of that, though, Aries is going to be defensive. Going to be very defensive about what their decision making, the processes they use to get to whatever. This is not going to be for everybody either. This may be the trigger for them to realize, well, before I do this, I do have a relationship here. It's that kind of energy coming back. Triumphant success underneath the positive movement forward. It's just telling me no matter what's going on, still going to be the same outcome. I'm just saying. Just be mindful. They may be a bit defensive somewhere in your near future. When you get to the end of all of this, it comes back to talk about that power shift and priorities underneath that sacrifice card, and this is what's underneath it, the authority. Taurus, you're the authority on your life. So for some of you, it may come down to, am I going to be that authority and pull my ass up out of the cups and quit being miserable? Or am I just going to say, fuck it, I don't know shit about being no authority on nothing and stay here stuck? It's shifty energy. And the understanding that this is happening because we're entering a new cycle. A lot of us are already in the new cycle, and things have to change. And if there are things in our life that we're not changing, if there are beliefs that we're hanging on to that we're not changing, the universe is going to do something to shake it up. The planet doesn't evolve. If we were still thinking like we were when we were rubbing sticks together to create a fire, come on, really? And no cell phones, y'all got me twisted. I am thankful for evolution every day. But people don't always understand a lot of evolving requires a lot of suffering and silence. It may cause you to be tempted to just stick with the status quo. Come on now. It will make you think about what you're sacrificing in life. And this is the job of any transformation. Any. It's to shake all this shit up and throw the shit out and keep the good stuff and create openings and pathways for new things to come through. I would say, Taurus, if there has not been a discussion, let me pull a couple other cards. I'm just curious to see. Universe, give me 3 more cards for this reading, please. 3 more cards. I'm just curious. Just want to take a peek, see. Oh, yeah. Tower. Queen of Cups. And the Ten of Swords. That pretty much just sums it up. So, one of the other of you probably having issues processing emotions. In this deck, that's the reversal meaning, and that's really what's coming back. So, I'm going to guess might be the Aries having a problem. If you haven't had it already, it's coming, but it's just what I just said. Shit happening to shake shit out. All kind of shit. Rocks, ants, spiders, cobwebs, old furniture, vinyl tables and chairs. Come on now. Shaking it up. And mentally, I'm going to say from both angles, from Aries and from Taurus, you just feel like you got it coming at you from every damn direction. Taurus, I'm going to say this is probably more emotional for you. And for Aries, it's probably more practical. If that makes any sense. Because either sign is dealing with what it's not good at. Let's just put it there. Taurus, unless you like me, and probably a gazillion other Tauruses that have Pisces and Cancer in your rising sign or your moon sign or your Venus sign, you like me, you're weepy Taurus. But most Tauruses that got Capricorn, Gemini, and some other shit in this shit, you know, they're just straight up Tauruses and to fuck with some emotion. So this is bringing forth the emotional point for them to start dealing with their emotions and not just grind and not pay attention to what's going on. For Aries, from a more practical point, it's a fire sign. So, you know, all they're trying to do is burn up some shit. You want to just get to the real, what the fuck the element is, it's fire. What does fire do? It burns up. And so it's more emotional and probably less practical. So that's an area in their life they've probably got to get some shit on point, because that's not their natural forte, but that doesn't mean you don't need to have some practicality in your life. I'm just saying that, and those are just the loose examples that I'm using. But I know for Taurus, this is emotional, and I know for Aries, this is about the being grounded part and learning how to be more grounded and more centered. Taurus, hang on. If you think this is worth it, hang on to it. There's no definitive closure here. What is here is transformation. And that's what we're sitting here talking about, change. So see where the change takes you. Now would be a good time. If you aren't doing it, and if you aren't angry and mad and upset and pissed off and pissed on and whatever, now would be a good time to start having conversations, especially with Mercury going retrograde, to go back over your relationship and see, you know, and your Aries may not be talking to you, Taurus, because they may not want to be doing this shit either. It's in my head that, and this ain't gonna resonate with everybody, but your Aries family may have a part to play in this. So, for example, especially for those of you under the age of 35 or 40, the Aries may have a mama, a daddy, a sister, aunt, or uncle in their ear telling them, you need to go back to school, you need to go back to school, you need to go back to school. And what you didn't know is that Aries has always wanted to go to law school. I always wanted to go to architect design school, what the hell ever. And it's something for whoever this is resonating with. This, it's going to be one of them things. This ain't going to be, oh, I'm going to go get me a certificate and how to do Pookie's hair and nail. This is serious shit. And something that would require your Aries full commitment and a lot of money on the table. A bunch. So much so it ain't none on this table. Yeah, a bunch. So law school, pharmacy school, any kind of specialty, going back for a master's, maybe at the other end of the spectrum, going to school to learn how to repair something, HVAC, motorcycles, what the hell, truck drive, anything that's going to require at least 3 months worth of time. Talking about that kind of thing. Really, the bigger things are what's really resonating with me. So even from the professional point, if they're not going back to school, you know, if they didn't take this job in New York City, if they didn't take this job in bumfuck Iowa, wherever, that kind of energy. And so, you know, what I'm feeling for you, Taurus, is that you don't really know. For those of you that have progressed this far into the energy, you don't really know where you stand in any of this. Are you going? Are we getting married? Are we breaking up? What are we doing? And that's the energy that's coming back for you, Taurus. You are unsure. Or if it is Aries, same conversation. You're unsure. You don't know. There's no firm, solid shit here. You know, it's just a lot of stuff up in the air. And with the number of air cards on the table, I'm not surprised. A lot of mental shit, a lot of thinking. Going to school, most people don't know this. I know it because I've been in school all my damn adult life damn near. Going to school is not the doing. Going to school is the thinking. It took me 10 years to think about going back to school. But once I went back, it took me 6 years to do all kind of shit. So I'm just saying that to say it's the thinking. And that's where a lot of Aries are with this pairing, Taurus Aries pairing. They're in the thinking stage. They're just in the thinking stage. So trying to make that decision. Do I want to go to Wisconsin to go to school? Do I want to go to Montana to go to school? Do I want to go to Nevada to go to school? Wherever. Those are big things when you sitting in the middle of the snow belt in Michigan somewhere and talking about moving far away. So in the thinking stages, claim your boundaries, aura cleanse, call your healer guides, take your time, pray. Claim your boundaries. So I'm going to go back down here with this, that emotional loss. So like I said, this doesn't have to be, oh, it broke up. The painful shit to me is when I know you're going to be gone for 6 months and you telling me you're going to come back. And I've always been fully aware when people said that to me, you know, of the many things that can happen between here and there. And even though it may not be said, discussed, or even thought about, dear old practical Taurus that thinks about every damn angle, what the hell, am I going to ever see you again, talk to you again? It's going to be like this again. It's that heartache and loss. It's at that point that you need to start claiming your boundaries, Taurus. What is yours? What are you trying to be responsible for? Because if you have to walk any part of the path by yourself, that doesn't mean you just get to go be a bull and sit in the middle of the meadow and sniff the daisies for the rest of the day. What do? If your partner is going away to school for a year or 2 years, or going to have their attention firmly directed into a book because they're working on their master's degree, or they're trying to get some corporate job somewhere, what are you doing? Claim your boundaries. Just because your partner is making this transformation and the relationship is making a transformation, you know, what are you doing, Taurus? Yeah, you got Uranus in your sign doing all kind of crazy shit, but what are you doing? Where are your boundaries and where are you claiming them? And what's inside those boundaries? And who? Others may be talking about becoming a preacher. I'm just throwing that out there. Is that the kind of life you want to live? Those are the kind of questions. And see, here's where you start, when everything else is falling the fuck apart. Hello. Start thinking about where your boundaries are. Not the us, the we, but where are your boundaries. Take your time, Taurus. Take it. This ain't no rush to nothing. I know you want to hurry up and get to the end. You want to skip all the pages in the middle and get to the end and see what happened. I keep saying this. I've been saying it all year. It's about the processes, and it's about knowing how to go through those processes, because whatever we have coming up is going to require that we look at how we're doing shit on the regular. So no better time than now to start, but take your time. Take your time. Feel what you need to feel, Taurus. Go through what you need to go through. There's no shame in this. This is fucking life, for real. Some of you may need to get your aura cleansed. Why I need to get my aura cleansed? Because you've been with this person for a while. And if there are any new opportunities, and I'm not talking just romantic, but if there are any new opportunities or anything that needs your attention that's new, that will help you grow, what kind of energy are you schlepping around? Is it yours or is it ours? And what are you trying to project? And again, this is not about, oh, I'm going to do that so I can be single. No. But it's about being clear about your intentions for whatever you're doing. Making cakes, doing hair, whatever. So that you're clear. Regardless of whatever the relationship is going through. So you're clear. Once again, so you can keep setting the boundaries and doing what you need to do for yourself. Call on your healer guides. That emotional loss. Feeling that pain. That heartache and loss. What? Shit. Suffering in silence. What the hell? Call on your healer guides so you can start healing. It's not an easy process to go through, Taurus. Ain't no sense in acting like it is. It ain't. Call your healer guides. At the end of any and all of this, pray. Y'all know Jesus, Muhammad, the head of lettuce, the great pumpkin, whoever it is you're praying to, get that shit up off you. And say a prayer. Pray for your partner, that they make the best decision they can make, and pray for yourself. I'm just saying. Taurus, I'm going to leave your reading here. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, a good rest of the month, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.